Hello, welcome back to my channel. I have said that twice today. Today I am actually starting a reading vlog. My last video was a reading journal setup, so we're going to go back to the reading vlogs today, and I'm starting a new one. I took a break from reading for like a week. Kind of. I say that and I started a book already. I think this week I just want to keep it chill because it is the Sunday before Christmas and I've already started a Christmas book. I pretty much read this one every year. It is a reread and it is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I don't know why, but the last 3 years I have read this book at least once. And I'm on stave 2, which is chapter 2. I'm on page 38. So this is a very short book. It is more of a novella and it is a Christmas classic. I watch Muppets Christmas Carol every year and I read the book. This year I'm doing something a little different with it. I am reading the text itself along with listening to the audiobook because the last couple of years it's just been the audiobook and I don't think I get as much out of it because of the language. I just don't get as much out of it and sometimes it just flies right over my head. So I have decided to listen to the audiobook still, but to also actually read the text this year, which this is a beautiful copy. I got this at Barnes & Noble a couple of years ago. The only reason I got a new copy is because my mom stole my other copy and she uses it as a Christmas decoration. That is one of the plans for this week, is to read A Christmas Carol. I do have one more book I kind of want to read a little bit of, if not the whole thing, in the next couple of days, and that is none other than The Letters from Father Christmas by J.R.R. Tolkien. I listened to the audiobook of this one last year and was almost in tears by the end because it's just so sweet and it's so beautifully written. This is a massive copy of this book. I'm not gonna lie, this is very much a coffee table kind of thing, but I got it on Amazon and it is a little damaged from delivery, but that's okay. But it is a gorgeous edition. You have the letters in the front and then you do have the transcript. You have like the pictures of the letters and then the transcript. So, and a couple illustrations in here that were actually drawn by Tolkien. It only makes this experience so much better for me because the audiobook is fun, but actually seeing the illustrations, seeing letters, it feels different. And I really want to read this one again not without the audiobook, but instead of the audiobook. I want to read this one again, but looking at it, if that makes any sense. So those are my two rereads for this vlog. I also do want to try and finish Mere Christianity before the beginning of 2025. So that may also appear in this vlog a couple of times. I don't really have any other Christmas books that I'm really in the mood for right now. I'm also reading a book. Hold on. Ignore my battery percentage, but I also wanted to try and read Midnight in Everwood. I've been listening to it on Spotify. I'm not very far. I've got 5 minutes left in chapter 7 on the audiobook, and I don't know if I'll actually finish this before Christmas. I've heard mixed reviews for Midnight in Everwood, but I just kind of want to try it for myself. So I think that is about all I kind of want to do for this intro. I just want to keep it very chill, so my energy is also kind of low. I do plan on doing some cozy Christmas things starting tonight, especially since Christmas is 3 days from now. My husband and I are going to be watching Christmas movies this week, starting with the Santa Claus 2 tonight, hopefully. We watched the Santa Claus earlier this year, so I'm hoping to watch the Santa Claus 2 tonight, and It's Wonderful Life tomorrow. But we're gonna try and keep things very Christmassy, very cozy, and I think it's just gonna be a very fun, hopefully very chill, very relaxed vlog. So that is the plan for this week, and let's get started with A Christmas Carol and the Santa Claus 2. I will see you guys in a bit. Hello. Okay, so it has actually been a couple days. It's Christmas Eve. I'm on stave 3 of Christmas Carol, or chapter 3, whatever you want to call it. It's the Ghost of Christmas Present, I believe. I did try to pick up Midnight Neverwood while I was at work today. I only worked a half day. And I think this is going to be a DNF. I was trying to figure out why I wasn't like listening to it at work, and I was like, maybe I'm just not in the mood for an audiobook because I'm not really listening to any audiobook right now. But then I actually sat down and listened to it and while I was working and went, no, I know exactly why I'm not listening to this. I'm kind of bored. It doesn't help that I read a couple of Goodreads reviews where I found out that you don't even enter Everwood until 40% into the book. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and listen to this and be bored. So, my biggest issue, I think, is just Marietta. I don't like her. And then on top of that, the characters are one-dimensional, and then you have the issue of the Regency era girl who is having to get married at some point because that was the culture of the time, and she's rebelling against that culture. Don't get me wrong, that done well is fine. Like, that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad story idea, but it's become such a trope that if done wrong, it's just tiresome. And this is where it's not done very well, in my opinion. So I'm DNFing this. I'm still working on A Christmas Carol. I read some last night, and I'm on page 58. It's not that long of a book. I'm a good halfway through it almost. And as usual, I'm enjoying this book. I always do. Plus, a small benefit with a physical copy is these absolutely gorgeous illustrations. So, to me, I like that. I really like the illustrations. They're beautiful. So, it's a different experience when you have the illustrations and then you also have the audiobook. I did have to turn the audiobook speed up to like 1.25 or something, because this specific audiobook, I got it off of Apple Books. My biggest complaint is I feel like after almost every sentence, this guy takes a dramatic pause. And it's like, dude, please move on to the next sentence. And even when I speed it up, that pause is still there. That's how long these pauses are. So that's my only complaint with this specific audiobook if you're trying to read along. That is my big problem with this audiobook. So he's just meeting the ghost of Christmas present, the ghost of Christmas present at this point. So we're past Marley, we're past the ghost of Christmas past. If that's a spoiler to you, where have you been? This story's been around forever. I'd assume almost everyone has seen some sort of adaptation to this story. My favorite one being The Muppets Christmas Carol. It's my personal favorite. But that is my update. I'm still working on this, and I think this will be my priority for now because I'm still enjoying it and actually enjoying it. And Midnight Neverward is just going to be a DNF. I'm not even going to bother finishing it if I'm bored with it already. And I'm only on chapter 11, so. I mean, it feels like that's a little unfair because I'm not very far, but I'm bored. I'm so bored. That's my biggest thing, is I'm so bored with the narrative of this book. So, there's a DNF. Kind of unfortunate the day before Christmas having to DNF a Christmas book, but I guess we'll go back to the classics. And I don't have a lot to read, a lot of time to read right now. I actually need to go do my face because I'm about to go to church. We're going to do the Christmas Eve service. And then Zach and I are going to watch It's a Wonderful Life. And hopefully I can get some more reading done before that. It's kind of all I got right now. I guess I'll get back to reading A Christmas Carol. And I'll see you guys later. I gotta stop doing weird stuff to the camera. Bye. Hey guys, it is actually Sunday. It is December 28th and it's also 10:30 p.m. It's actually been a while since I've updated because I just didn't read for like a week. Okay, that's not completely true. I did read a little bit of a Christmas thriller novel that the name is escaping me at this moment in time. But today I did finish A Christmas Carol. It took way too long to finish it. I do think I cheated a little bit with it. I got super sleepy while I was reading this today and actually fell asleep with the audiobook still rolling. So I went to sleep with The Ghost of Christmas Present and woke up to The Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. So, oops. But I didn't feel like going back, and on our way to dinner I put the audiobook in my ear and, well, listened to it at 2 times speed to finish it. I was like, nope, I'm done. It is past Christmas, it's almost New Year's, I need to finish this. So that means I will also probably skip Letters from Father Christmas because I feel like everyone knows this story so well. It's hard to review it because I do enjoy the story. I like the Christmas atmosphere and I like the kind of Christmas spirits and those kind of the redemption arc within the story. But because it's so short, it's so short. But look at, I do love these illustrations in this book. That's one thing I like about this. And not necessarily the audiobook, because you don't get the same kind of illustrations and stuff. Like, look at these. These are beautiful. That is The Christmas Carol. I gave it 5 stars, easy 5 stars. But I do want to move on kind of from the Christmassy books, obviously, because there are a couple other books I would like to finish by the end of the year. One of them being Mere Christianity. I know, I've been on this book for over a month, I got distracted by Winter Song, and then I got distracted by Christmas, so this unfortunately went onto a back burner, which is really weird because I was over halfway through it. I also updated my tabs. It's a bit excessive, to be perfectly honest. So it's like, I don't know if I just find the entire book important, so it's kind of hard for me to kind of like not underline a section on every other page. It's still really good. It does kind of delve deeper into faith as the book goes on. Like, it starts out very simple, very Christianity 101, and then near the end it really starts to delve into like more, not complicated facets, but like more facets that are more understandable to a Christian at a certain point, rather than someone who isn't a Christian at all. So at least that's how he explained the last chapter I just read. I'm on page 153, so I'm on book 4, so I have 10 chapters left, and they're pretty short. I mean, I have like a fourth maybe of this book left. It shouldn't take me too long to finish. I really do want to finish this before the 31st. That would be like my main goal, is to finish this one before the 31st. It's still good. I'm actually recommending it to my husband, saying, hey, I know you like self-helps. Would you even consider this? So he's thinking about it. I'm on chapter 12 of the audiobook I'm listening to. I've been listening to at work. I'm on chapter 12. It's got like 40 something chapters, so I'm only 33% of the way through. Is the Christmas murder game. This thing. I saved this on Spotify a while ago, and after the disaster that was Midnight Neverwood, I picked this one up. Because it's a thriller, and it technically takes place like Christmas and then afterward. So it's like the first day of Christmas is like the 25th, and then it goes until, I think they're there until the 6th or the 12th. No, it's the 6th. Until January 6th, because that's technically like the actual 12 days of Advent are the 25th through January 6th. So it takes place in that kind of area where we're kind of at anyway. Basically, the main character, Lily, her aunt dies, and they did this game every year where they won prizes at Christmas, and she doesn't do them anymore because she was so good at them that people got mad at her and just made fun of her for it. So she basically put on one last game after her death, and so they have to find all the clues. But the thing is, the prize at the end is the deed to the house. So the family is now doing this to gain the deed to the house. There is a little bit of a twist at the very beginning that I was like, oh crap. And it startled me, but I don't want to give it away because I feel like that would be a little too much of a spoiler. I'm liking it so far. I'm getting into it. I really want to know what happens. It hasn't gotten crazy yet. It's called the Christmas murder game because this starts to turn deadly. Rude. Like, the saddest part for me is like, this is family, and it's like, it's kind of like the selfishness, from what I understand of the synopsis. I'm not very far in, of these family members to get the deed to this house. So I'm curious on how that ends. I think it's interesting that I'm reading Mere Christianity and something called the Christmas Murder Game at the same time, but I love thrillers, and I really feel like I've needed some, especially recently, because I love Winter Song, but trying to find another fantasy right now, I'm trying to find a Christmas fantasy did not work for me very well, and I'm saving my bigger fantasy books for January. Speaking of which, I actually got a new book, but my husband and I recently went to Barnes & Noble. I think it was like the last Saturday before Christmas, and he pointed this out to me, and this is The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. This is a trilogy. I've added it to my series tracker. From what I understand, let me just read the back because I have no other knowledge of what this book is. Two nations at war, a prize beyond compare. For generations, the fleets of the 100 Isles have built their ships from the bones of ancient dragons to fight in endless war. The dragons disappeared, but the battles for supremacy persisted. Now the first dragon in centuries has been spotted in far-off waters, and both sides see a chance to shift the battle of power in their favor, because whoever catches it will win not only glory, but the war. That's some pretty high stakes, and it looks like a nice high fantasy, and I feel like I'm kind of entering that era a little bit with the beginning of the year being like super cold, and I'm going to be inside a lot. So I think 400 something page fantasy, 468 page fantasy book could be fun. The issue is I'm also starting the Stormlight Archives in January, so this should be interesting. But now I have 2 fantasy series. This one is a trilogy that I'm probably going to start hopefully at least start in 2025. But it was actually Zach, and I blame him fully, who pointed this out and said, hey, this cover looks really cool. I picked it up, which is interesting because the other book I was holding I was kind of interested in too, but I picked this up and went, oh crap, and bought it. So it's like, so much for my book buying ban, y'all. That didn't work very well at all. But it has a map in it. Like, come on. So I'm excited to start this one, to read this one in 2025. And if I like this one, like how I do with most series, if I like the first one enough, I will continue to the second and to the rest of the series. But I have to know if I like the first one first. From the Goodreads reviews, they get better as they go. Like, the ratings have gotten better as the series progresses. So maybe that's not a fair judgment to say, hey, maybe if the first book is good, the rest of the series is good, or if the first book is meh, the rest of the series will be meh. So that may not be the fairest rating, but if I'm not interested, I won't continue. I just won't. I don't want to be in a world I don't care about. But this one looks really fun, and I'm sure it'll be fine. So that is my update, and here comes 2025. Holy cow, I cannot believe 2025 is in 3 days. Like, 2024, I feel like so many people have said that 2024 has been the absolute worst year. For me, it has been a wonderful year, but I got engaged and married this year. So yeah, it was pretty wonderful. It was very stressful, but it was so worth it at the same time. I mean, my husband proposed in January, we were married in August, so 2024 has actually been an amazing year for me. Not to mention my best friend had her baby, so I have a niece, but I also have a lot of nieces and nephews now because of marriage. This has been a good year for me. Like, I've gained an entire family this year. Like, I've had my ups and downs, especially like the November blues, but looking at this year in general, it's been a good year. I started BookTube in July, got married in August. I keep mentioning that, I'm sorry. And it's just been an adventure this year, so hopefully 2025 continues to be a blessing and a good year. So prayers for that. I have also decided to participate in Winterween this year. You can kind of see a very basic spread in my reading journal for January. That was my Winterween spread. I am going to try and participate in Winterween this year. I don't have that much of a TBR, but I do already have a book checked out for it, and it's Into the Drowning Deep. I think A Good Girl's Guide to Murder will also be on that TBR. I gotta find the rest of those. So I have a couple weeks to do that. Maybe Gabby will have some suggestions on her Instagram. As always, it is hosted by Gabby Reads, and for more updates, there is the Instagram. This is Summerween, which also does the Summerween and Winterween readathons, just to bring a little bit of spooky to the January. So that will make reading these books a little bit more difficult because I'll have quite a few that I'll need to read within a week. So here goes. So there is that also going on in 2025. Anyway, now I'm done. I'm done talking. I promise. It's like 10:45. I'm exhausted. Even though I got a nap today, I'm still tired. So I will see you guys later, and I'll update you when I'm done with Mere Christianity, hopefully. I'll see you later. Hello. I'm here to end the vlog and also to give a reading update. I finished The Christmas Murder Game. Was it good? No. Was it fun? Also no. I give it 2 stars. I mean, I guessed who was behind it less than halfway through. It's pretty obvious. The games were interesting. The characters were not. It barely, to me, it barely merits being talked about. It wasn't good. Like, sure, if you want to read it, have at it, but I personally would not recommend it. It was something random I found on Spotify. It was Christmas, it was a Christmas thriller, so it was Christmas related, but also, you know, a thriller, which I was into, and I didn't like it. So, hopefully my 2024 ends on a stronger note because I'm still on Mere Christianity, which at this point is in my purse. I don't have it on me. Hopefully I'll finish Mere Christianity tomorrow, but I do need to end the vlog here so I can get this out before 2025. This is gonna be a long shot, but I'm gonna try. Anyway, that is it for this vlog. So I finished A Christmas Carol, I finished A Scary Book of Christmas Lore, and I finished the Christmas Murder Game. I hate that this vlog is kind of ending on such a crappy note because 2024 has been an okay kind of year. I don't have my stats yet, so I don't know. I mean, it's been okay. Like, there's been a few. So I think that I'm kind of ending it on kind of ending the vlog specifically, my last vlog of 2024, on a little bit more of a low note. But I am also working on Mere Christianity, which I think is going to be an easy 5-star. So if I finish that before the 1st, which is in 2 days, I think I'll at least end 2024 on some kind of high note when it comes to reading. But as for this vlog, I need to finish this today. This vlog has just been going on for way too long. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Let me know what you think in the comments and what your reading plans are for 2025. And I will see you in 2025. Bye.